Emma, why are y'all so dirty? We ran into a bit of an issue today. The boiler down in my parents' house is leaking. It's over 10 years old. Instead of buying a new one, when we were renting this trailer out, we put a brand new one in it. Nobody's living here now. It's just storage. So we disconnected it, cut it out real quick. We set the boiler down in here on some pillows. I'll sit back here and hold it while we take it down. We got really lucky. This was less than a year ago we replaced this thing. Doesn't have hardly any usage. Ran out here to the shop real quick. We're gonna need an extra pair of these pliers and some Teflon tape. That's about it. This is where that boiler was in the trailer. We're getting all these cables off. We pretty much did it brand new when we replaced it, so no need in them sitting here rotting away. So this is what my dad's gonna do for the time being. Just gonna straight shoot it. No hot water here. Like I said, nobody lives here. It's vacant. We're gonna do something with this. This guy living his best life. Not a care in the world, huh, Oakley? Let's get the tools, this cable, put in the van, get it taken down there. Gonna grab this hose. This is what we're gonna use to drain out the boiler before we get it taken out. Let's get it put in the van. We're gonna take it nice and easy. Drive this thing down here to the house. We had to slide the washer out the way and the dryer, disconnect the vent, find a way to get to the boiler, shut the water off to the house, turn the faucet on, try to drain as much of it out as we can. My mom left out some food scraps from yesterday. He's enjoying that. Looks like a mess right now. We got the garden hose set up to drain as much of this water out as we can. There was just a piece of wood that goes over here. We took it off. Garden hose, we drilled a hole, shoved it in. That way he can connect it to the boiler, get it drained out. You can see a puddle of water at the end of the hose. It's coming out the boiler. This is the guest bedroom. In here, we had to take this little wall out to get to the boiler from the other side. Once it drains out completely, we'll start disconnecting. Just cut the power off. We're not quite ready to install it. We got to let the other one drain out. We're also gonna have to make a run to Home Depot. This one, the fittings are on the top. The other one had a little bit different fittings, but it should work once we get the right tubes. Emma, you sunbathing? You can see the goats up there laying on the driveway, sunbathing as well. My dad's gonna head off to Home Depot, pick up some other hoses and fittings. I'm gonna head up to my shop, pick up a couple more tools we need to get this job done. We're gonna go ahead, grab the whole toolbox, so that way we don't have to keep coming back and forth. Let's get it carried down there. It's still dripping a bit outside. I went and got this square bit. That way we can take the screws off to these fasteners that's holding the boiler in place. Make sure this bit doesn't fall out of the screwdriver. I don't want the screw to fall either. There we go. I also went ahead and put a fresh dry towel there. Seems like the end of the hose is leaking a bit, getting the floor a little bit wet. Let's take this wet towel out of here. Got this old boiler. Let's get this shit taken out. There's the one we're gonna be using. It's a little bit smaller than the original one. It's only my mom and dad down here. They don't need that much hot water. They had it sitting on the ground. We're gonna put some extra protectant. We're not gonna install the new boiler today. After taking a better look, everything is pretty soaked in here, and it kind of made its way out here a little bit. So what we're gonna do, we cleaned it up really good. Whoever installed this boiler didn't put any kind of protection. Every boiler is gonna go bad eventually, so you wanna have some kind of precaution in place. They just set it on the ground and didn't care too much about it. So now it's our problem to deal with. Leave the windows open in this room, let it dry out as much as it can. Just brought the old boiler down, threw it in the van. This thing's garbage. We'll throw it in the scrap pile. We're gonna make sure it's flushed out and clean before we install it. My dad's going through, adding some clean water. If there's any built up sediment, get it all out of there before it gets installed. Looky there, look at all that sediment that came out. This is all from the public water, city water. Look at all the sediment your boiler catches, which means this is all the sediment in the water. Cutting off the old connection. We're gonna let the boiler sit outside and dry out real good.
Yeah.
We don't need it today anyways. Take a little bit more water and just clean off all this sediment. We're gonna install this pan when we put the new boiler, and it's gonna have a drain tube. So if this ever happens and you see water coming out or filling up in the pan, you know it's leaking. The last people just set it down on the plywood. Dumbest thing they could have done. Let's head back up the hill, try to get something else done. I'm gonna go this way. Made a quick pit stop. My dad went ahead and picked up these blocks when he was in Home Depot earlier, because when that semi-truck trailer gets here that we got at the auction, we're gonna use these to help level it out. This is the drill we used to drill through the wall to run that hose when we were draining out the boiler. We're gonna go ahead and get my toolbox and everything else unloaded from the van before we move on to anything else. Still got some water in it. Let's get this thing taken to the scrapyard. When it's time to go, it'll go too. Made it up here just in time. These 4 bucks always wander away from the herd. Think they can do as they please. Still got plenty of time left in the day. It's about 3:30 now. My dad's got another job he wants to try to finish up. We're gonna do some work on my dad's box truck. We have replaced the fuel filter probably 2 or 3 times in the past couple months. Keeps getting filled up with a bunch of gunk. So we're gonna drop the gas tank, diesel tank, whatever you wanna call it, and flush it out as well. Put some fresh diesel in it. Found the right size. It's got a drain plug on the tank. My dad pulled it. We're letting it fall into this container we got. We're gonna completely drain it out, get it cleaned out the best we can. Forgot to take the cap off, just did that. It's still leaking out. I knew this tool would come in handy eventually. A hand siphon pump. Siphon out some of this diesel, flush it back through the tank. Got this thing filled up. We're gonna take all of this diesel, since it's still good, and put it in the 2 tractors we got. Not going to waste. Filling up the old Kubota. Once it's full, we'll put the rest in the Zeter. Always turn it sideways, let air flow in there. That way you don't cause a big mess. That was round number 1. Took the drain plug back off. We're gonna fill it back up. We're not sure how much diesel fuel is in this truck. The gas gauge doesn't work. Looks like there's not much left. All the little residue and black stuff across the bottom of the bin. That came from inside the tank. Getting the old Zeter brought up here. That thing is a workhorse. Looks like he's having some fun on it. Damn. He's really giving her some hell. Runs like a charm. We got what was left in here poured in it. We finished draining out the truck. There's really not much sediment like we thought. We're not sure. It could be bad diesel. Clean up all the tools. We're gonna let the truck sit overnight. He's gonna pick some stuff up in the morning to flush the tank out with. Oakley, living his best life out here, huh? I don't know where Emma's at. Sit. Good boy. Sit, Sika. Sika. Come on, my love. Sit. Good girl. I've been meaning to bring this piece of metal back to our scrap pile. We used this thing when we built the new forks for the tractor. Nice and easy. We'll find a good spot for it. I've been meaning to fasten this piece of PVC that's starting to sag. Some of the points we've already done. I'm gonna get up here with some wire and some wire cutters, fasten it on there and anywhere else where it might need it. Getting a bit chilly out here now. as we can. Put in a couple other spots. That way it doesn't happen again. Originally, we had this PVC held in place by zip ties. Some of it's still holding up. The rest is starting to come loose. I'm cutting all the old ones away, putting wire wherever it's needed. Finished up to the scrap pile here. We're gonna do as much as we can before nightfall. We'll probably have to finish the other sections another day, but for now, it's still holding up.
As the dust settles here at the end of the day, we just wrapped up our sprints. We're gonna get in the house. We're gonna watch a little bit of television. We're gonna enjoy some dinner. We're gonna be back out here tomorrow.